Hi, friends. It's Will, and I'm coming to you today with a fun matching game that I have been playing. Actually, I don't do it too much anymore, but when I was learning the tarot, I do it, and every once in a while, I'll do it just for fun. So grab a deck of cards, shuffle them up. It's the whole deck. And as far as I know, I invented this game. Someone else could have invented it, but I figured it out on my own. And there's no score. You don't win or lose. It's just like a fun matching game. So what you're going to do, I've already shuffled these, but let me just give them another little quick shuffle. You're going to draw a hand of 5 cards for yourself, okay? And then you're going to lay out 3 cards face up on your table. And then from the cards in your hand, you're going to ask yourself which card in my hand most closely matches one of the face up cards on the table. And then you're going to make a match, pair them, remove them, and then deal out some additional cards, and I'll show you how to do that. And so the whole idea with this is you work your way through the deck and you just make associations for which cards have something in common, and it should be the most in common possible, right? So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to lay out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my hand of cards. I'll set them just there. And then face up, I'm going to deal out 3. We've got the Devil, 3 of Cups, High Priestess. Okay. And then I've got my deck. I'll just set it off camera here, but I've got it. So now here are my 3 cards, and here are my 5 cards in my hand. I've got Ace of Swords, 7 of Swords, Judgment, Death, and 4 of Swords. So now I'm going to ask myself, which of the cards in my hand is the closest possible match, right? Like an interpretation that you can come up with that most closely matches one of these. So for example, I think 7 of Swords can mean lying, can mean deception, and I think that matches the Devil very closely. So I'm going to play that card, make a pair, and then I'm just going to set these aside, right? Now, that means I need to deal out another card to my hand. It's going to be the Sun, okay? And then another card face up on the table, and that's going to be the Hierophant. And then I just rinse and repeat this over and over until I've made my way through the whole deck. So now, let's see, which of these most closely, I think 4 of Swords and the High Priestess match up pretty well, right? The High Priestess is about secret knowledge. She's also very quiet. She's not saying what she knows, right? And that matches up for me with the way in the 4 of Swords, the figure is lying down, meditating, resting, regaining their strength, right? So I think those can match up. So I'm going to pair those up. Then I'm going to pull a new card for my hand. It's the 9 of Wands, and lay out another card. It's the 10 of Wands. And then I'm going to ask myself, well, let's see. I think Judgment and the 3 of Cups go together, because here we've got a group of people celebrating something, right? They've got a big harvest, something really good is happening. And here we've got Judgment, a whole bunch of people being called. So both of these remind me of a party. Actually, here they're drinking, and here they're like listening to music or a DJ. And so that matches to me, and I'm going to pair those up. And then I'm going to deal myself the Wheel of Fortune, and I'm going to deal out onto the table the Queen of Pentacles. So let's see. How about the Hierophant and the Ace of Swords? The Ace of Swords is about having a sharp mind to learn things, and the Hierophant is about teaching things to others, passing on a tradition, right? Conventions, norms, all of that. So those go together. Let's see. Knight of Wands for my hand, and 5 of Swords on the table. I'm going to think, let's do Death and the 5 of Swords, because with the 5 of Swords, I think of someone who feels entitled to hurt someone else, right? And maybe it's putting an end to the relationship. Although, if they were to be open enough to ask for forgiveness and be forgiven, maybe the sun could rise on the relationship again. And I think of that with death, the end of something, people being very hurt, but maybe there's a potential here of something coming back from it. 10 of Swords and 3 of Pentacles. Let's pair the two tens up, right? We've got the end, like exhaustion of ideas or the end of a conflict, right? And here we've got exhaustion of a project or the end of a project in some way, burning out, finishing. So those go together. The moon goes in my hand and 10 pentacles here. So let's see. I think the sun and the queen of pentacles go together, right? Because this queen, she is dependable. She can take care of a child, right? She nurtures and takes care physically of her own well-being and security, but she can also do that for other people so that this child can thrive and go out and be warm and happy and all of that. So I won't exhaust this, but I think you get the idea of how this little game works. And you can see I'm not hemming and hawing. I'm not taking a bunch of time. I'm just like, what's the first thing that comes to mind? What matches? And like if I have a knight, if there was a knight down here, I could pair those knights up, no problem, because all the knights have something in common. They don't they're not going to match up perfectly. Obviously, that wouldn't make any sense. But you're just trying to find something they have in common where you can link up the interpretations. And I do think it's helpful to say it out loud, right? If you're in a context and environment where you can do that. Also, you can incorporate reversals into this if you want to. You don't have to. Another variation would be, instead of looking for similarities, try to find the two cards that are most different from one another, right? Like pair up things that there are the most opposite. That would be another variation of this game. And so it can be really fun to play, like if you have a new deck and maybe you don't have a divinatory question to ask, but you want to just get to know the deck. There's nothing at stake here. You can't answer the question wrong. You just sort of sit down and you play and you have fun and you look at the cards and you match them and you look for similarities or differences if you prefer to do that. So let's do just one more. Let's see. What's one more match I could make? How about the 9 of Swords with the 7 of Cups? We've got too many possible decisions. We don't know what's real. It's keeping us up at night. It's causing anxiety. It's hurting us, right? That's a match that we could do. Let's see. We could pair... Let's see if we did 2 wands planning, right, with 3 pentacles collaborating with others. These people are working together, yes, but how are they doing that? By making some plans together. So you get the idea. I won't work my way through the whole deck, but I think you see now how this works. It's a really fun game or exercise that you can use as you're learning the cards or learning a new deck, or just for fun. So if you enjoyed this, please consider liking and subscribing. Give it a try. Let me know in the comments how it worked for you, or if you have some variation that you do differently. I would absolutely love to hear about that. I'll end there. Thanks so much, and have a great day. See you next time.